Hey there, everybody. Welcome back. My name is MF Kane, and today we're going to be talking about Mortal Kombat 1. So, I am a huge fan of the Mortal Kombat franchise. I have been for years. I started initially with Mortal Kombat 9. My sister found a PS3 on the side of the road, and she decided to bring it home, and she gave it to me and was like, hey, here's this old PS3. It has a game in it. Do you want it? I said sure. And I fell in love from there. So I go way back with this franchise. And when I say that Mortal Kombat 1 feels like Mortal Kombat 9, I mean it in the best way. For those of you that don't know, this is Mortal Kombat 1 and not Mortal Kombat 12 because they want to do another reboot, which is what MK9 did. And so they're kind of bringing it back to basics. They don't have the three variations in the characters like they did in MKX and MK11. They have a in-depth one variation character. Every character feels almost broken in their own way, which is kind of how the balancing was in Mortal Kombat 9. For example, Johnny Cage has a lot of the same moves that he did in MK9. He has that forward knee that can go into a million different options. You have the overhead low mix-up game. You have just the general flashiness and shit talking with Johnny. He's just a great character. You know, another thing here is how well they did the roster. You know, one of the biggest issues I had with MK11 was the roster wasn't all that interesting. I'm not gonna lie. I don't give a shit about the Combat Kids. Cassie Cage was great in MKX when she was the best shit talker in the game. But when they turned her into a bland babyface in MK11 with that goddamn drone, no, it was game over for her. Jackie Briggs is just an uninteresting character. She's not well written. She's Jax Briggs' daughter. And that's it. You also have Takeda, who's coming back in Combat Pack 1. They're going to do him justice in this game. But in MKX, he was somewhat interesting, but not really. Another big thing with this game is the cameo system. And the cameo system, there's a lot of confusion and just general awkwardness with the cameo system in the community right now. But that will go away. Once people figure out how to use which cameos they like, for example, I've been using Striker mostly, and that's what you're going to be seeing in the footage behind me. But yeah, there are a lot of other good cameos. I've seen a lot of people using Serena. I have seen a couple people using Goro. It seems that there is a consensus. Well, there's not really a consensus on anything right now, but I've seen a lot of the combo people using Striker, which I get that because his grenades are insane. He's just a great cameo overall. I am also a huge fan of Motaro. I have a feeling that his down cameo is gonna be great in competition. So if you're looking for a good cameo to use, you're not gonna go wrong with Serena, Kano, Motaro, or Striker. I still have no clue how to use Shujinko. Somebody will find a way to use him. that person is not me. So one of the biggest issues that we have here in Mortal Kombat 11 that doesn't show up in MK1 is the variations. The variations killed a lot of characters in MK11. Uh, I feel bad for Devora because she is a great character that was not a good character in MK11. Every character in MK11 felt bland. There was a set number of characters that were good, and they were good because they had this tool, and this tool. If you had a launcher, that was good. If you had an overhead, if you had a low, you were set. But with MK1, they both try and focus on the overhead low mix-up game, but they don't focus on the bullshit that made MK11 not fun in the long run. You know, there were times in MK11 where I was getting bored with Kano, and Kano was my main. And I would think to myself, well, why learn another character when they're just gonna play almost exactly the same way? Use the launcher, get a combo, rinse, repeat, destroy Scorpion on Combat League. And end of story. But with MK1, every character feels like they genuinely thought, okay, we're doing this, this, and this. We're going to bring this back from this game. We're going to do this for this. We're going to make this interesting little thing. And another good example is Johnny Cage. The hype meter is a great addition. The fact that there's a live studio audience watching Johnny at all moments is fantastic. It's a great addition to just the gameplay in general. It adds a sense of almost authenticity to the stupidity. As for my issues with the game. Okay, so when you're in the story mode, I'll get to the story mode. The story mode, some of the models are very wonky. They're just wonky. There's nothing right. There's not really a way to put it. They just look fucked up. They look like they're all slightly drunk. I'm not sure if it's an issue with the game, if it's an issue with my computer. I'm not sure what it is. But there's not much. When you notice it, you can't unnotice it. As for the story mode is great. The pacing is... So I understand what they're doing with the pacing. What they want to do is they want to do what MK9 did, but for the whole franchise. What MK9 did was it did 3 games in 1. It was a reboot that covered MK1, 2, and 3. I haven't finished the story mode in MK1. I've heard it's great. I'm in the middle of Act 2, but so far, we've already covered MK1, 2, and 3. Now in Act 2, they're covering MK4, 5, and 6. And then Act 3 and 4 are gonna be new shit. Which I am so fucking worried about. I have no clue what's gonna happen. I'm excited. So far, they've been doing it justice. I will give them that. It is a great... it's a great story. The voice acting is good. The dialogue writing needs work. I'm not gonna lie. Especially in the beginning. It feels very much like... Hello, I am the writer. This, Kung Lao, is the good guy. Good guy, good guy. And Raiden is the sidekick. Sidekick. You think that echo bit is going to survive the edit? I think it will. But it feels very much like Basil exposition coming out and hitting you on the head with a hammer and nail that, oh, Kung Lao is the guy this time around. I know we killed him in MK9, but he is the good guy this time around. Meanwhile, you got Liu Kang as literal god. How the hell's Kung Lao gonna live up to that? How? Somebody tell me. How am I supposed to take Kung Lao seriously? Why Kung Lao? What is their obsession with Kung Lao? He is a mid character in general. He is just mid. I like what they're doing with the story. They have a lot of great things going on in the story. They have Shao Kahn not being emperor, and they have Sindel being emperor, with Shao Kahn serving as the general of the army, but they are not married. Ooh, that's interesting. Sonya is not a part of the story. Hallelujah. And Johnny Cage is not married to her. I'm excited to see where his love interest storyline goes, because he doesn't have one yet. So fingers crossed. I like what they're doing with Reptile. With Reptile, what they're doing is they're giving him some justice. He deserves better. He deserves better than what he got in the last few decades. Now he actually has a story, he has a motivation, he is a real character with a real backstory, and not just a jobber who you beat up for the first few story arcs of the game. They did something similar with Baraka. They're finally giving him a motivation. They're finally giving him a story. They finally gave him a role in the story. And that's very much a theme that's in this game. Another theme that's in this game is change and metamorphosis, which I feel like is kind of the thesis of this game, where they are changing the series to fit the 21st century and to fit the 21st century fighting game. I feel like MK11 was their first step into, all right, how do we actually get this done? And then MK1 is the punchline to MK11's setup. I think that will wrap up my thoughts. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. I stream MK1. I am a Johnny Cage main on Twitch. The link will be in the description. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you.